Hi and welcome to Orbit. Since 2014 there's Android Wear and Android smartwatches, but Google never released their own smartwatch. And now here it is, the Pixel Watch. I tried it and here's my review. I don't think a watch can look more minimalistic. The Pixel Watch is round and rounded. A super simple shape that is subtle and feels soft on the arm. Sleeves of shirts, sweaters and jackets just glide over the watch. At 31mm in diameter and 36 grams in weight, the Pixel Watch is quite small and light. Almost half of the case is made out of heavily curved glass like a dome. The transition to the case is almost seamless and the build is high quality. The 50-meter water resistant underlines this impression. You can choose from 3 colors: silver, gold and matte black. All 3 of these are made out of 80% recycled stainless steel. It looks good, but it scratches a bit easier than I expected. The bottom of the case is also with a minimalistic design and contains the sensors. Google decided to develop its own connector for the wristbands. The advantage: the transition is seamless and you can quickly swap them without any tools. The disadvantage: there are only 16 bands to choose from so far in leather, fabric and silicone, but there will be 5 more in metal. Although honestly I believe that there's something for everyone. I also have some concerns about how resistant the 3D Gorilla Glass 5 is because it is not protected by a metal bezel. There was a lot of discussion about the display bezel and in pictures it really looks too thick. But in real life, on my arm, it did not bother me at all. The curvature of the glass somehow makes the display look bigger than it actually is. The entire software was cleverly designed to hide where the display starts and where it ends. Thanks to OLED, this really works well. There's only one exception: the photo watch face. There the bezels look way too thick. The display itself is nice. It gets 1000 nits bright and has a sufficiently high resolution and an always-on mode. It is operated via touch or with a digital crown. When you rotate it, it has a gentle vibration feedback, and guys, let me tell you, this is the only smartwatch beside the Apple Watch that has an awesome vibration motor, and it makes a huge difference when the watch doesn't make like zzz zzz, but more of a wobbly and tappy feedback. The processor inside the Pixel Watch is an Exynos 9110. It was released in 2018, so it's not the newest thing out there. It's not the Snapdragon W5 Gen 1, which would be much more efficient and more powerful at the same time. But Google has some trick up its sleeve. For once, there's a co-processor which can handle light tasks, and there are 2 GB of RAM, and that's quite a lot for a smartwatch. And the result is a performance that positively surprised me. Apart from a way too long loading time when opening the app menu, the operation was always smooth. The big stutters that Wear OS used to have no longer exist. However, an Apple Watch runs even more smoothly. There's another button next to the digital crown, but it's really hard to press it, and so I did it maybe 3 times. It starts the Google Assistant, which is always on anyways, so you can always activate it with your voice. It understood me well, but the reaction time is still a bit too slow. I like the built-in microphone and loudspeaker. There are many sensors inside this small watch. There's a compass, a GPS and a height sensor, and when you fall down and you don't get back up again, it will call the ambulance. And the same thing happens in a car accident, and that even without a smartphone nearby because of LTE inside the LTE model. According to Google, the most important sensor is the pulse sensor. Unlike other smartwatches, it does not measure every few minutes, but every second. The pulse is therefore live, and a precise curve shows the course of the day. You can then easily see where you've been doing sports or just laying around. For the ECG, you have to hold still for 30 seconds, and there is a blood oxygen sensor installed, but you cannot access it yet. It will be possible with a future update. Speaking of which, Google promises updates until October 2025. One big version jump every year, and in between there are feature drops. Wear OS 3.5 is a beautiful software and it's really simple to use. There are 18 watch faces, each with quite a few options to customize the look and function. I find them all so beautiful I can't even decide which one to use. Probably this one is my favorite. There are thousands of other watch faces in the Play Store. When you see the watch face, you can swipe down to access the quick settings. When you swipe up from the bottom, you can see incoming messages. You can reply via emoji, mini keyboard or voice. Widgets can be found on the left and right of the watch face. They show at a glance the current pulse, the weather, upcoming appointments and much more. I like the system because I don't have to constantly go to the app overview like I do on an Apple Watch. I can search my smartphone with the watch and the watch with the smartphone. There's a Google Home app and Google Pay also works flawlessly. You can load music onto the 32 GB of internal storage and play it directly from there with Bluetooth headphones. Thanks to the compass, Google Maps is also really handy. A big part of the Pixel Watch is Fitbit. Google bought the company in 2019. You have to download the Fitbit app and also create an account. The advantage of all of this is that Google can directly support 40 training modes with its first smartwatch, more than twice as many as an Apple Watch. Basically, anything you can imagine can be tracked with this watch. But there's one problem with it. An Apple Watch or a Samsung Watch, they do track a workout even when you start it without starting it on the watch. And on the Pixel Watch, you really have to start it before you do it. And I don't like that because I often forget to start a workout. The data is analyzed and displayed directly in Fitbit quality. I have a Withings scan watch and sleep analyzer. It lies underneath my mattress and is really accurate. The Pixel Watch did detect the sleep phases comparable, but unfortunately it had a strange error. Repeatedly it said I've been awake for several minutes, which added up for almost an hour per night. Although I slept 7.5 hours, the watch therefore said it would only have been 6.5 hours. That happened almost every night, and I hope that an update can fix this. With the purchase of a Pixel Watch, you get 6 months of Fitbit Premium for free. I will not extend it because €80 per year is relatively much and I don't necessarily need all the sport features. Google Fit can do the most important things as well. My biggest concern was hands down the battery life, because it is a small watch and it has not the newest processor in it. But before I go to sleep, I usually had 30% of battery left and 15% in the next morning. That's actually okay. All the sensors, the always on display and every feature was activated. Charging for 30 minutes on the magnetic puck brings 60% of battery. Unfortunately, it's not enough to charge the watch in the morning while I'm in the bathroom. Because the sleep tracking with me had some flaws anyway, I've charged the watch at night. If you put the Pixel Watch on a regular wireless charging pad or the Google Pixel, the charging animation appears, but unfortunately the watch does not really charge. This would have been a really handy emergency feature. Conclusion. The rumors started 2016. There will be a Pixel Watch and now here it is. And can it live up to the hype? And I think it can almost live up to it because it has a nice design, nice software, and the performance and battery life are okay. There's still a lot of room for improvement, especially in the processor, but I do think it is a good smartwatch and enthusiasts will like it, and all the regular people that are not too crazy into smartwatches, they should wait 1 or 2 years. The price is quite high. I still think it has to go down a little bit, but Google is on the right track and now I'm excited to see where the journey will bring them.